Obviously, it wasn't always a comfortable procedure since the makeup artist could accidentally press the model's head with these strips too tightly. After using the micrometer, a lot of models would often be left with painful headaches.
You're gonna be so grateful that the inventions on today's list are no longer around today. Believe me. From an invention known as the head crusher to another invention that allows you to smoke 20 cigarettes at once. Let's talk about these and more only in today's video. Top 10 scary inventions in history that should be forgotten, part 3. But before we begin, I have some peachy news, pun intended. I have started my very own reaction channel called Peach. You all totally need to check it out because it's gonna be so much fun. And you'll see a side of me that you've never seen before. So check the link in the bio to subscribe to Peach. Starting off this countdown, we have the iron chair. Imagine the Iron Maiden, but in chair form. Basically, this was a torture device used in the Middle Ages. Victims were placed onto a chair that was filled with hundreds of sharp spikes. There could be anywhere from 500 to 1,500 spikes. They were strapped into the chair, and when their restraints were tightened, the spikes would dig into their flesh. And they often left the victims there for hours, even sometimes days, just suffering. Sometimes there was a hole on the seat and then a fire was lit below them. But the most common way this chair was used for was actually psychological torture. The victim was often strapped in and then would have to watch another person die in front of them. It was either you confess to your crimes, or you die from the chair, or die another painful death like the person you saw die. This device was used until the late 1800s in Europe. And at number 9, we have the chain smoker, and I'm not talking about the band here. But if you guys are liking this video so far, make sure to give it a big thumbs up because it really helps me out. This invention was created for those who wanted to smoke not 1, not 2, but 20 cigarettes at one time. That is lung cancer just waiting to happen. But it was pretty popular in the mid-20th century. So this invention was bad for a number of reasons. Number 1, cigarettes can kill. Imagine smoking 20 at once. Think about what that would do to your teeth, gums, skin, and lungs. Also, think about how expensive it would be to fuel that addiction. In our 8th spot, we have the breaking wheel. The breaking wheel was an ancient device used to torture and/or kill prisoners. Typically, it was used during public executions. Basically, how this device works is it's a giant wheel with spokes. The person was then strapped to the wheel and then beat, or the wheel was slammed down on them. The most common thing would be having them lay on the wheel, and then the executioner would hit them. Their body was woven between the spokes of the wheel so that when they were hit, their limbs would give away and break. It's really gruesome. Either they were hit until death, or they were just left there after being badly injured to die a slow, painful death. Moving on to number 7, we have the beauty micrometer. This device was basically a way to make you feel really crappy about your appearance. So it was designed in the 1930s and was used as a beauty calibrator to see how beautiful you were and what areas needed more work. And those areas that needed work were where the makeup was applied. The machine itself looked like a medieval torture device with like screws and these weird strips attached to it. The machine itself was made by beautician Max Factor Sr. Yes, a man telling women how to look. Anyways, this machine is terrifying, and its users would often have terrible headaches after wearing this device. Coming in at number 6, we have the mass shaving machine. And this invention is exactly what it sounds like. This was popular back in the 19th century. It allowed barbers to shave 12 men at the exact same time. This device would first coat everyone's face with shaving cream or whatever they used back then, and then there was a blade hooked onto it, and it would go and shave the men's face. No, just no. Everyone has different face shapes. That blade could come down and slice your face or something. I'm just glad it isn't around today. I know everyone wants efficiency, but this invention could go wrong for a number of reasons. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the flatulence filtering underwear. This one has got to be the weirdest one on this list. Basically, if you're a person that has really bad gas, don't worry. This underwear has got you covered. Basically, if you toot, the underwear somehow filters it so no odor comes out. No, I'm sorry, that's just weird as heck. Please, let's not make this a thing. Next thing you know, a company is gonna come out with like underwear that makes your farts smell like things, like strawberries or marshmallows. I don't need this becoming a trend, okay? Like, ooh, who has the best farts? No. Moving on to number 4, we have the creeping baby. If dolls creep you out, then you would not be a fan of this invention at all. In 1871, a man named George P. Clark invented this doll baby thing. His goal was to make a doll that crawls exactly how a baby does. But boy, did it turn out really creepy. So the doll's head, arms, and legs were made out of painted plaster. From there, they were hinged onto a brass clockwork body. The doll then moves forward by rolling along on 2 toothed wheels. But honestly, it just looks like a creepy robot baby. So not only is this doll terrifying looking, but it can slowly creep along. Yeah, no, just no. Let's just leave it in the past. No, thank you. In our 3rd spot, we have the revolver camera. Again, it's just as it sounds. Basically, it was a gun that would take a picture when you pull the trigger. Yeah, you heard me correctly. It was meant to take a photo exactly when the bullet hit the target. Okay, but don't worry, there were no bullets in the camera when they took the photos. Basically, in around 1938, this device was created. A tiny camera was attached to the underside of the barrel and the front of the trigger guard. It was attached so that every time the trigger was pulled, it would snap a photo. Now, there's no evidence that this gun was actually used. They only used it for trial photo shoots. And like I said, it was used without bullets. Or so that's what historians assume. Sadly, we don't know much about this invention and its purpose. Was someone trying to make something cool? Or did they want to take photos of their victims? Either way, that would be super bad to bring back. You can imagine why. Like, here, let me take your photo, and then everyone screams and runs away. Moving on to number 2, we have the thumb screws. This was a common form of interrogation used in medieval Europe. If the criminal was not behaving or giving the information that they wanted, then they would resort to using this device. Basically, it was a vise that would clamp down on a person's thumbs or fingers. Then the vise was slowly tightened, putting more and more pressure on the person's thumbs. Also, they were locked in place with a padlock, so they couldn't escape. They were left there until they made a confession. If not, their fingers were shattered. And in our number 1 spot, we have the head crusher. Just the sound of this invention alone is gnarly, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The device was basically a vice for the head. I know, it's gross. So basically, it was a metal device that hooked onto a person's jaw and then head. Then the executioner would twist the handle and it would push the head and jaw together. And then you get it. I'm telling you, there were some pretty sick people back in the day. They had fun with torture. On top of that, some versions of this device had a little thing at the front to catch the victim's eyeballs when they popped out. Yum. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one of these inventions freaked you out the most. And now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Scary Encounters with Real Urban Legends. Ezekiel Trujillo commented, there's an urban legend that if you say Lindsay Ivan 6 times, she'll appear in front of you saying subscribe to Peach. It's true. Subscribe to Peach. Do it right now. Hit the button. Do it right now. Did you? Good, thank you. Lynn Durbin commented, I'll definitely be buying a Super Soaker, LOL. Could come in handy. It's multi-purpose, baby. Multi-purpose. Wes Gunton commented, Lindsay Hinton for a Magellan gift card. Maybe for her birthday. I mean, if you wanted to send me one, I would accept it. I love Magellan, so my birthday is December 13th, just to let you guys know. Just putting it out there. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm showing out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Subscribe to Peach. Or die another painful death. Either way, they were just hit until they were...